Yes, my name is Kenneth Loch. Just want to get into what I call the geniuses enlightenment. So let's see, who I'm claiming to be is actually, say, the first genius to actually reach enlightenment. And the idea there is that when it comes to, say, enlightenment, say an enlightened person is only as good as the enlightenment that they witness. So it's like a hand of a card has value. And the idea of enlightenment, I mean, who doesn't want to be enlightened? It's like, who doesn't want to become intelligent? Who doesn't want to become aware? So, and then, let's see, the enlightened teacher that they use so that they can become enlightened. And in relation to the enlightenment. So when it comes to genius, it turns out, there's, there's been an evolution of this whole idea, and I'm actually bringing it into, say, the eternal, which is actually like present right now. So right here now, the nature of genius, and then the idea that what I'm bringing to the table is it's kind of, again, in relation to like a card game. I'm kind of like the first genius to, say, have two of a kind. So I'm staying in the game, say. And the two of a kind. So the idea is that it turns out that I was kind of blessed to be this genius. The idea is that quite an honor. Um, to understand my honor, let me see if I can define it a little bit for you. Let's see, I'm the first artist to actually reach enlightenment and ultimately become a fine artist and genius. So the idea is that to understand how intelligent, how enlightened is a genius, well, I define it. Um, and say primarily through the primary means, which would be through the fine arts, in particular painting, and the nature of, say, an enlightenment in relation to, say, a transcendence, and ultimately through the 20th century abstract art movement. That was the evolution that led up to me and, say, my discovery. And that discovery, I mean, I can go back and I use Jackson Pollock as a reference for teaching, say, or making people aware based on the fact that it's important to become aware of his work when it comes to genius and enlightenment, because ultimately I'd have to say that he actually made a contribution to that evolution, right to the end kind of thing. But what separates me from Jackson Pollock is that he doesn't have a pair when it comes to being a genius. He's just his genius was, he was in a sense of genius of that movement of painters that led up to the genius. So I give the likes of Jackson Pollock credit for their contribution to that evolution. And let's see, the idea that to be a painter, to be an enlightened painter, you would understand the nature of that transcendence, where you would transcend the object altogether, and it would not be an object-based relationship. It would be primarily based on the process. And to understand, like, the Jackson Pollock's work, he's a good example. Ultimately, what he was doing was, in a sense, it was movement. It was, in a sense, like dance, in a sense, and free form. And it turns out he had the mental, he was of genius, and then he actually had then also the physical ability and reflect that through his painting. And so, yeah, genius is enlightenment right there when it comes to the fine arts, when it comes to the philosophy of aesthetics, beauty and truth, and the idea that that philosophy used the fine arts as a means for philosophizing in relation to all that. And then, yeah, now let me follow up on that, what I was getting with Jackson Pollock. Now the idea is that spiritual or metaphysical nature in relation to that process of painting, how it's interrelated with music and dance, and then the idea is that I'm here to bring, say, an artist over to where they become interdisciplinary and become diversified in relation to painting now, with the fullness of understanding of the meaning in relation to metaphysics and spirituality, and then also have them get involved with dance and music and kind of create the whole genius. And then my other card that I hold when it comes to understanding genius is through athletics. And then I'm kind of like the genius of athletics, the genius of, say, the mind-body connection. And spiritual genius. Yeah, so the idea now, what I'm bringing to the table is the nature of that interdisciplinary nature, where a person would reach their full potential or their highest potential in relation to them being a fine artist and an athlete. And yeah, let's see if there's anything in the Enlightenment now. So the idea is that the other side of the coin would be the unenlightenment. So the idea is that it's really interesting that the unenlightenment would be based on just the opposite, which would be specialization and, let's see, specialization and just say it'd be anti-everything, anti-fine arts. It would be just the opposite, anti-athlete, mind-body gap. You know, the idea that the nature of a complete lack of awareness in relation to the mind, and a complete lack of coordination in relation to the body. So it's just that mind-body gap, which is, again, the basis of the unenlightenment, which is just a complete opposite of what I'm promoting. I just wanted to put this down. Hope you got something from it. Thank you.